I ran across this book a few years ago, which really struck me, and it has this poem called Afterwhiles. And so I memorized it. And I'm not used to mentioning poetry while I'm wearing a tie. But it just talks about, where are they, the afterwhiles, luring us the lengthening miles of our lives? Where is the dawn with the dew across the lawn, soaked with eager feet the far way the hills and valleys are? Around the mountain steep defiles, where are all the afterwhiles? But what was interesting, a couple of years ago, I memorized this poem. I was sitting in a park a block from here, right by Starbucks, on a Saturday morning in May. It was a beautiful day, I remember it. And obviously it talks about procrastination, of how you talk about, one of these days I need to do that. I really get around to that. It's really important, but I don't have time right now. And it changed, it's always a constant battle, but I think it changed the way I've behaved somewhat since then, that when things strike me, I try to do them. So when Mary Marsh called me, I'm not sure if Mary's here, I'm sure she is. She called me a year and a half ago and asked me to be president, and the first thing I thought is, I don't have time for this. I'm busy. Caden was a year and a half old at the time. This is the last thing I have time for. But you just start thinking, if I don't do it now, when am I ever going to do it? Soon after I was elected president, we started the strategic plan. As Tim Worthington always says, I didn't show up for the meeting, so I got elected to chair it. So that was a fateful meeting. But I would have stepped forward gladly to work on that. The first thing I did was I called Kiwanis International. I said, which club is really doing it right? And they said, Birmingham, Alabama is a great club. They're booming. They're over 550 members. So I called their executive director, and I said, what do you do? What's the one thing you do that makes your club successful? And she said, we run our club like a business. We only focus on things we're good at. We focus on taking care of our customers, which are our members, and we play to win. So that was kind of heartening for me, because I have no clue about doing volunteer nonprofit organizations, but I do have experience working in business and leading a team and helping to try to grow the team and take care of our clients and our customers. So this really struck me. And I thought of, within our practice, a thought or a concept that we've adhered to that's really helped us over the last few years is the idea of a supernova. Supernova, my father-in-law's a science teacher, so he's loving that I'm talking about astronomy, I'm sure. But a supernova is a star that shrinks on itself and then explodes. It shrinks down on its core and then expands. The idea in business is you focus on your 20% of your customers that give you 80% of your business, and you focus on your activities that are only most productive, that help you grow the most, and you only focus on those things. You eliminate all the other distractions and you segment your practice. Within our practice, we've done this over the last few years. At one point we had over 500 clients, now we have 135. We used to use 25 investment products, now we use about 5. And year to date, we have more in net new assets than any other team in the state of Indiana for our firm. So I know it works within our business. It also works personally, intuitively. If you focus on your mission and what's important to you and try to eliminate other distractions and feed those strengths, how much more will your life mean? How many more connections will you make? And the thought I had is, does this apply to the Kiwanis Club? We even have animation of the supernova there. If we look at our club as a business, could it benefit from focusing on our core and trying to eliminate the distractions, eliminate things we're doing that we may not be as good, as good at, and just focus on where our strengths are and our key beneficiaries? So if we look at our club as a business, how are we doing? You've seen some of these slides before. They're part of the strategic plan, but we've been doing a lot of surveys over the past 12 months. This summer, we did surveys on committee chairs. Don Steele and Steve Kellum looked at our committees and tried to narrow them down. What we found is the committee chairs, the people who are most involved in the club, close to 80% of them said we have too many committees and too many options, too many projects, and too many funding needs. Close to 70% or 65% said we have too many committees compared to the number of volunteers and funds available. Nancy Ulrichs and Melissa Boggs recently did a survey of ex-members, people who've left the club. And looking at our meetings, looking at, again, focusing on what we're good at and omitting where some of our issues are, 56% of our resigned members said our meetings were a reason that they left, which is something in reality we need to look at as well. But the positive part of this was 86% of people who'd resigned from the club said they would consider rejoining if we address their issues. So we have issues, but we know there's huge potential if, as Don said, we implement the changes that we've discussed. You've seen this slide most likely. These were the over 100 people within the club, our most dedicated members that replied to the survey. Close to half of them said we do not communicate the value of membership. And then we've seen this before as well. We are, at this point, we topped out around 1988. We had 550 members. Now we have about 245. This mirrors country clubs, social clubs, civic clubs. So this isn't completely our fault, but again, what it showed, as we've said before, is we haven't adapted to change and become attractive to the next generation. So what does this mean? What we're focusing on as a board in our last board meeting is focus, commit, and execute. For now, the brainstorming sessions, we're not doing brainstorming sessions. We're doing execution sessions, talking about how we're going to implement the plans that we already have. If we don't do this, we'll have sustainability issues. We need to target the perception of not having value in the community. Anybody that's been to the Abe Lincoln Luncheon or the basketball or the football luncheon or KIPS or fostering families or going to the triathlon, you know there's huge impact in these things. You know they make a huge difference in the lives of kids, but we're not communicating that value. So we need to change, and we have a plan, which is the good news. These things go back to, it's a nice remote, I can go right back. The changes that we're speaking of all involve our mission, our members, and our message. That's what all boils down to, is focusing more so on our mission, focusing on member value, and focus on messaging, on properly communicating and adequately communicating with our members and with the community. Mission, members, and message. So our plan, you've likely seen these: enhance our club reputation through marketing, enhance our member experience through our meetings and through the events and the programs that we have, focus on our mission, communicate with and educate our members, retain and grow members, and this all in the end is designed to grow the foundation. That's the real engine of the club, is the foundation. That's where we have the financial wherewithal to do all the great things we do. And what this means is change, as Don mentioned. And this is where we got, it all sounds good, and then we start messing with things. We start changing things. So we all got to take a deep breath and just let it out. And I was thinking about what happens around our house when we talk about change, or when we actually try to change something. We get that. Usually. It can go from so good to so bad in just 3 seconds. Yeah, that's me. Just last week. So we got to be prepared for this. We can guarantee few things, but 2 things we can guarantee is we're going to change things and we're going to make mistakes. So hopefully we can all just be patient, let us know, keep the lines of communication open. When you have input, let us know, and we'll keep moving it forward and keep changing things. So within our mission focus, what we've done thus far is we reduced our committees in the last board meeting from 35 to 23. All of our committees now fit on one page. So we're consolidating these things to focus more on our members, focusing more on member value. What we've identified, this is from the member survey last year, were the big 6. When we did a survey of where we have the most impact, 6 things came to the top of the list. Abe Lincoln, Salvation Army, the kids clubs like Action, Circle K, Builders Club, Fostering Families, Riley, and Partners in Education. So we're going to feed more resources, more time, more people, and more focus, and more PR attention to those. But on the other 5, we want to improve those. We want to get more people involved. We've spoken with the committee chairs, get more energy and more of a focus and more of a message of the impact of those other 5. This is where the foundation spends money, is where this list came from. So that's what we're going to focus on. Other programs will be evaluated, improved, but we're going to continue to talk about our major ones. The next step as far as focusing on members is we have this new growth team that we mentioned. They just met beforehand. Denny really fired this up a couple of months ago and started having some meetings of the committees on Friday. We had about 15 people show up for the first meeting. So they're going to re-energize the efforts as far as how to grow the club and hopefully emulate something more like the Abe Lincoln Committee, where you have many people involved, you stay in constant contact, and you make that thing improve all the time. We're going to institute an associate membership for Circle K members. Circle K within the college ranks is one of the top service clubs in the world for college kids. But when they graduate from college, they don't join Kiwanis. What we found is this is something Kiwanis International already has. We're just going to publicize it. Circle K members, when they graduate, can join a club for 2/3 dues for 2 years. So we're going to go out and actively pursue the Circle K clubs to try to get them to get involved with our club or other clubs, rather than just dropping off the map. We're going to institute a family membership. So this is a big change. Within retention, we believe that if people get involved with their family, with their spouse, with their significant other, they will be more likely to stay involved. So we're going to try this for a year of offering spouses and significant others 50% off dues and initiation fees to get your family involved. Remember is another initiative that KI has to reach out to former members and let them join with no initiation fee. Let them rejoin simply if they start paying dues again. We're going to begin, Brad has already met with a bank, we're going to start doing auto deduction of dues. So that is going to be enhancement as well, just focusing a little bit more on customer service, on taking care of the members. Our overall strategy in all of this, which came through loud and clear through all of the surveys we did, is to recruit through the mission rather than through meetings. We're going to have mission-based events, like the event at Riley here a couple of weeks ago. That was a tremendous event. We're going to start a Kiwanis Business Circle at the Columbia Club. Many people join Kiwanis because of networking. They stay because of the mission and the impact, but we're going to have a bi-weekly meeting for 6 months that's more of a business networking meeting at the Columbia Club. We're going to do a strategic partnership with the Columbia Club. Pat McCrory worked on this for a few months. We're going to cross-promote membership and activities with the Columbia Club. We're going to have the Kiwanis Business Circle. There's an insert in your dues mailing where you can see more information on that. One of the most exciting things as far as messaging is we formed a partnership with Trendy Minds. We've been doing the fundraising effort for, about 3 months now, and we've raised about $16,000. We have a corporate sponsorship for another $4,000 now, so we're at $20,000 of the $30,000 that we hope to raise. We did a search, and we found Trendy Minds. 3 representatives here today, 2 of whom are going to join the club, which is great news. But they're a leading-edge local marketing firm that agreed when they looked at our mission that they're going to give us a $10,000 grant in their community partnership program. So we're starting to work with them today, and a very exciting thing, when you get home, check your email. You've got mail. The new email newsletter is in your inbox as we speak. So this is our new logo, Kiwanis Club of Indianapolis. And then they thought long and hard about what we do. What is the opportunity? What should be our tagline? And what we'll start to talk about is the opportunity to connect through Kiwanis Club of Indianapolis. So who can you help us connect with? Prospects. With this new growth team, the idea is to just get prospects. Don Canada is an expert of this as far as he's recruited over 2,000 people into Kiwanis and started, 118 clubs. And his idea is that when members think of someone, you just give the name to the growth team. Then they can pursue them, they can follow up on them and get them involved. You don't have to close the person or try to get them to sign the application. Just give the name to Steve, Wendy, or Jeremy. Potential corporate sponsors, let us know about those. And then former members and community partners are the other opportunities we're looking for as far as ideas to connect. Well, the board's excited as far as what we think we're going to do this year, what we plan to do. Our club still has 250 members. We've got a $5.5 million foundation. We've got a great partnership with Trendy Minds, with the local marketing firm. We have tons of great programs. What will happen to our club if we execute this plan, and what's going to happen in the community? We think it's very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you don't want to miss out. So hopefully you'll be a part of it. I and the board, we look forward to working with you to make this happen, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.